So we all gotta start from somewhere. And I feel like that choosing your first deck is very crucial in staying in this game for a long period of time. And since you want to play a deck that's not so hard, but you don't want to break the bank, I feel like that I should make a list about that. So here are 5 decks in play right now in this format, or any given format for that matter, that you should start playing if you're starting to play this game for the first time, aka 5 decks that are best to start with. And before we get started, I feel like I should give you guys the criteria in this video. They all have to be budget friendly, simple to play, and are also very consistent at what they do, and also the fact that they can use at least one mechanic in this game very consistently, so that way you can effectively learn how to use these mechanics. If they use the abstract mechanic very consistently, then it'll be easier to leap over to other mechanics. That way you'll learn how to play the game. And a mechanic is pretty much a summoning, or a ruling, or whatever it may be. Just go with the flow, alright? So with that intro out of the way, let's get started. At number 5, we have Burning Abyss. And I feel like the deck is very simple in its design. And some people may disagree, but I think the deck is very simple in its design. Its playstyle is very simple. Summon a bunch of level 3s, make rank 3 Xyz monsters, and just make your plays from there. But the more you explore this deck, the more you learn how to play this deck more effectively. And that's the same with like Ritual Beast or something. If you want to try that out for some reason, you shouldn't, but I feel like the deck rewards you heavily for exploring your deck and learning how to play it in a very effective way. And considering how simple the deck is, you'll mostly be making Dante, so you could just probably win events from there. But because this deck isn't strictly Dante Turbo, they can also synchro summon one monster they have in the extra deck, being Virgil, Rockstar the Burning Abyss, a very underappreciated boss monster. They also have a fusion monster you should only make out of their other Xyz monster, Beatrice, Lady of the Eternal. And if you want to play the Burning Abyss deck in a very unusual way, you can also play Malakota, Mellow Branch of the Burning Abyss, and Good and Evil. Or, it's not a Mallow Branch, but that's not the point. But I feel like that this deck is very simple in its design, and you guys should try out this deck. It's very simple, but it's very consistent at what it does. And also, it has so many ways to play. You can play a bunch of hand traps if you're afraid of your opponent playing before you get a chance to. And you can play a bunch of floodgates, cards that can stop you from playing like Anti-Spell Fingers and Skill Drain. Point is, this deck's very simple. The deck has a lot of ways to play, and you guys should definitely try it out, considering that the deck's very cheap at the moment, considering that most of their main deck cards are pennies right now. So, yeah, you guys should give it a shot. And at number 4, we have Fluffles. Yes, my favorite deck of all time, just happens to be a deck that's very good for beginners. So, what's so good about Fluffles? They have a lot of draw power. And the fact that they fusion summon a lot, and they have very simple abilities for what they are, makes them very attractive to budget players and starting players alike. The designs are charming, and the effects are very good for what they are, but also very simple. Considering that Fluffle Dog is just a search on summon, Penguin gets you more draw power and lets you summon a Fluffle from your hand. There is so much the deck can do, and it rewards you for exploring the deck more so, much like Burning Abyss. And it just gets better and better as you keep playing the deck. And I feel like that you guys should try this deck out, and the deck is very cheap right now. I think it's going to stay that way for a while until Patchwork comes out. All their support hasn't come out, so if you come across another Fluffle player that complains about Fight for Patchwork, it's a card that allows you to add one Edgit monster and a polymerization from your deck to your hand. So, until we get that, you'll probably hear complaining about that too. But I feel like you guys should try this out if you guys are a starting player, because the deck's very simple in its design, much like Burning Abyss, and it's very effective at what it does as well. And if you use fusion mechanic very consistently, so you'll learn how to fusion summon very quickly if you want to jump into another fusion deck in the future. Number 3 is going to be Cyberse. And I feel like that this deck is very simple at what it does, but it's pretty good at what it does as well. It's not the best Link deck you can use right now, but it's definitely the most simple. Considering that the deck is very straightforward at what it does, and it's not super combo heavy, I feel like this deck is very good at teaching you how to use a Link mechanic. Considering that the mechanic involves arrows that point to other monster zones you can use for your extra deck monsters, also this deck awards you heavily, again, for learning how to play the deck, and learning how to play it better as you go along. And considering how often you can make more than one Link monster, I feel like you'll learn how to use Link mechanic very well, very soon. And also, if you like designs of giant digital monsters, I feel like that you'll love this deck to death, and I think that you'll consider to play this deck for a long time until you get on to other Link decks and the ways that other decks can use Link monsters. And considering that Nightmares are out now, you might want to learn soon, because dealing with Nightmares in the current state of the game is going to be very problematic if you don't know how to play against them. But that's suggesting that you go up against a really big meta deck right now. And if you want to face the meta right now, you might want to analyze. But I feel like that the deck's very budget, and it's very good at what it does. And the decks I suggest getting, the starter decks I suggest getting for you guys is Cyberse Link and Link Strike, so you can get some of the best the Cyberse mechanic can offer. So I suggest getting that deck, because it's very budget friendly and it's very simple at what it does. The fourth deck on this list is going to be Lair of Darkness, and I mean the deck at its purest. Not including other variants right now, because the Deity one's very complicated, but I'm talking about the deck at its very core is very simple. The deck is pretty much what it sounds like. It's a dark deck, but it's also a deck that uses the virus cards. You learn how to use trap cards very effectively if you explore the deck a bit more, but also their field spell Lair of Darkness also allows you to tribute your opponent's monsters so you can get over problematic monsters on your opponent's side of the field. And the deck rewards you for kind of being a jerk, so you can use their monsters to get your trap cards with Lilith, Arima to draw cards, Diablo to send cards from your opponent's hand back to the deck. This deck is very, very mean to play, but it's very simple in its design, and it's very powerful once it goes off, and it just snowballs so well. So if you want a deck that doesn't explode quickly, but it also rewards you for playing a deck very, very often, and also allows you to get rid of your opponent's stuff with the greatest of ease, I feel like this deck is very good at what it does. So try it out, and it's very budget. Just get through the Lair of Darkness Treasure deck, which is only literally like $30, and you don't even need an extra deck for it. So really, you can run Xyz monsters, but you don't have to. And you can run Link monsters, because this deck does allow you to summon tokens with the field spell too. I feel like this deck is very good for you guys if you guys want to get a good starter deck to play this deck, or play the game in general. So yeah, try it out, and I think you'll enjoy it. And on to our fifth deck, which will be Xenobirds. Xenobirds are a ritual deck, and I feel like they're very good at what they do. So let me lay it down for you guys. They summon their own tokens for the ritual monsters. They use the ritual mechanic, and they can use the powerful pre-preparation of rites, which allows you to add one ritual and a ritual spell that specifies the ritual monster from your deck to your hand, which is very good. They can run many different cards with the Brilliance Engine if you want to throw a few more dollars in. Same thing with Kaiju. And probably the biggest plus for this deck is that you're able to run Emano Iwado, the card infamously known for crushing people's dreams. It's painful to face, to say at the very least. But I digress. Because of all the things I've mentioned, the deck is very, very good at what it does. Considering that you can ritual summon, and you typically run level 4 monsters, so it's not hard to ritual summon at all, and Xenobird Calling can also use cards from the graveyard. So you can also learn about resource management that way too. And the fact that Xenobirds, their ritual monsters can often just be a huge blowout to some matchups. Considering that Xenobaron Peacock can bounce monsters from the field to the hand without targeting, and also Xenobaroness Peacock can banish back row without targeting, and summon a ritual monster from the hand or deck respectively, all that makes the deck very good and very consistent. I mean, it may not be as explosive as other decks, and it may not OTK as often, but I do think that this deck would be very good for teaching the ritual mechanic, and also the fact that this deck can Xyz summon very often if you know how to play the deck very, very well, is also a really nice perk too. So I hope you guys enjoyed this video. If you guys like it, hit that like button, subscribe, join the fight for armies to get able to beat the meta. Talk to you guys next time. If you enjoyed my next video, mention other structure decks or starter decks in the comment section below, just so other starter players can learn how to play this game very effectively. And I'll talk to you guys next time. Take care.
Ameno, lanciremo, dorime.